there, light beings, it's Jen again. Welcome back to my channel. And, okay, I'll never get good at this intro stuff. What I want to say first, I want to preface this whole video with holy SHITBALLS. Holy, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Literally just yesterday, I was like, I can't believe I just reached 100 subscribers, and I've got literally almost 300 subscribers now, and I am so humbled and what? Like, what? Why? How? What? Who? What? When? Where? Huh? Thank you so much. I can't believe the outpour of positivity and compliments and comments and just people being so positive. I can't believe it. It's really, truly, like, has given me so much joy, and thank you so much. Thank you for all of the kind words. People saying, this is my culture. Thank you for representing it. That hits me right here. Thank you so much for that. That's all I want in the world, is to represent an underrepresented group of people and really express the things that this culture is meant to express. And another thing I also want to say, when I started this channel, I am ashamed to say I was a little bit nervous. When I started this channel, I focused a lot on some of my mainstream spiritual practices because for some reason, it's okay to be spiritual, but it's not okay to be a witch. So I focused a lot on some really mainstream spiritual practices that I do every single day. I do yoga every day. I meditate every day. I do my chakra cleansings every day. And I focus on the law of attraction, and that's all very true for me. That's a very real thing in my life. But I was focusing on those things in my videos because I was scared that maybe videos like this wouldn't really be accepted. And the more that I went on with my channel and the more that I kept creating content, the more I wanted to just share my real witchy beliefs with everybody. I wanted to talk about spells. I wanted to talk about culture. I wanted to talk about sage. I wanted to talk about cedar. I wanted to talk about so many things that I was afraid to talk about because, you know, like, one side of my family is like this, and I have in-laws, I have stepkids, I have friends, and I was really worried that everything would just get real awkward for me and just, you know, not end up okay for me. And I was so stupid to think that, because the amount of positive feedback that I've gotten is so incredible. And I'm so thankful. Thank you guys so much for believing in me, for being happy that I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Thank you for caring about this culture that I love so much. And without you guys, I literally, like, what would I have? Thank you guys so much. I'm not gonna cry. I'm cool. I'm chill. I'm like, whatever. I'm just so thankful. Thank you so much for all of the positive input and the support, and everyone on Reddit who I've got like freaking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, 400 upvotes on one post, like 300 on another, 200 on another. Holy bejeebus. Thank you so much. Really. Especially everyone in my Reddit threads, thank you so much. I know you didn't interact with the actual YouTube video, but you interacted. And despite the fact that doesn't go into the YouTube algorithm and get me suggested, I don't really care about that, because you guys interacted with me and you made me feel like I had something important to say about my culture, and that's priceless. So thank you so much. Anyways, I'm freaking rambling like I always do. So let's get into the video. Let's get into the video. Video killed the radio star. My podcast has no followers. Okay, so, let's get started. This episode is going to be about Downhome Deities. You heard me, ladies and gentlemen. What am I doing with my actual life? Hold on. I was trying to cleanse and I left my lighter. Ow. Okay, so first things first, if you DM me on Instagram, I am selling these handmade cedar bundles from locally, sustainably sourced cedar. If you want any, honestly, I will sell them for donations because I think that not a lot of people have access to their own cedar, and this is a really, really, really great herb for cleansing. And if you don't have that kind of access, or you just don't want to mess with it, because cedar is pointy and sharp and painful, believe me, I bled a lot making these. If you want one of these, DM me on Instagram at innerbeautyguru.onyt, and I will hook you up. But I had come up here, I was going to smudge around with this to, like, kind of cleanse my space of all of its negative energy, but, like, there is no negative energy because I'm so freaking happy. I'm full of happy energy. I'm so excited, and let's get into it. Downhome Deities. Wait, hold on. Let me intro. Episode number 2 of Granny Magic. Downhome Deities. All right, that was a good intro. Okay, so for the first deity that I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to talk about her most in depth, and it is a deity that I actually work with in my own practice, and I really respect and revere, and that is the deity of Spider Grandmother. Now, Spider Grandmother goes by a few different names: Grandmother Spider, Spider Woman, Spider Lady, Weaver of Worlds. She is the earth goddess. She is the goddess of art, weaving, and fate. And not only that, but, well, we'll get into it. She can come in the form of a timeless woman or in her spider form as well. She's the wisdom keeper. She is the mother of humanity. She weaves our fates. She is the weaver of our dreams, our lives. She is basically, if you want to split from like a Hopi Indian, Navajo Indian, Cherokee Indian, Appalachian Mountain group, and modern Christianity, Grandmother Spider is God, basically. It's not exactly like that, but anyways. Grandmother Spider was believed by many to have just thought the universe into existence, and every single one of us as a repercussion. She can hear the soul song of every living creature and every future living creature, and she weaves us into existence so that we may complete our fate. The main belief, at least where I come from, is that as the universe was formed, there were no humans or animals. It was simply thought. It was just a strange combination of cells and thought. And Spider Grandmother lay in her web across the vast universe, and her web covered the entire universe, and from there she could see and hear all of the thoughts. And she started hearing the thoughts of everything that wanted to exist, and she began weaving everything into existence. She is also a bringer of great wisdom. My papa used to tell me the story of Mama Spider, or Spider Grandmother, Spider Woman, however you want to call her. My papa used to tell me the story of Mama Spider and how she stole the sun from the selfish to bring light to the generous. And so it's like an interesting little, there's a lot of actually different stories that go with Spider Grandmother and the sun god and the moon god and all of that. But this is a story that my papa told me, and it's what's most familiar to me in my craft and my particular where I'm from in my religion. So, well, I don't have a religion, but where I'm from in my spirituality. So, Grandmother Spider stole the sun from the wicked to give to the needy, the selfish, who only wanted all of the light for themselves. Grandmother Spider went and she said, no, no, no. No, sir. I'm taking the sun and I'm giving it to the generous, for they need light the most. And that's so beautiful. She stole the sun to bring light to kind and wisdom and happiness and joy. She's the goddess of fate and weaving. She's also the goddess of art, but we'll get into that. The goddess of fate and weaving. She weaves our fates, all of us. Every human that ever has been or will be, she is weaving your fate. And if you gain favor with her, she will weave you a fate greater than what you could imagine for yourself. And if you harm her or hurt her or prove to her that you are unworthy, your fate will be woven a very different way. She truly wants great things for all of us, every human, just like God in the Christian Bible. Spider Grandmother sees that humanity is generally good and that humanity wants to do good. And she wants the best for all of us because she weaved every single one of us into existence with her own, well, I was going to say with her own 2 hands, with her own 8 legs. She weaved us all into existence. Every single one of us is precious to her. And so if you set up an altar or pray to Spider Grandmother for the things that you want, if you truly are pure of intention, I 100% believe you will get everything that you desire. And what I'll get into in Downhome Divination, the next episode of my Granny Magic series, is spider webs. Now, I'm just going to briefly get into it here. Grandmother Spider will leave messages for you in spider webs. I mean, obviously in folk magic, we'll read pretty much anything. Hand us a weird Cheeto and we'll be like, your future is nigh. But I hate this so. Don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. So here's the thing, is that spider webs are noticeable to us for a reason. They're so beautiful, they're so brilliant. And Spider Grandmother will leave messages for the called, for the knacked, for the ones who pay attention in her creature's webs. And those messages are very important for us because they help lead us to our path and on our path of fate that we have chosen before we ever even existed. See, before each of us existed, we had a thought. We were nothing, but we had a thought. Maybe that thought was, I want to help people. Maybe that thought was, I want to be the greatest musician in the world. Maybe that thought was, I want to live alone forever and cry while watching Desperate Housewives and eating ice cream. But whatever that thought was in your head before you ever even existed, Spider Grandmother wove for you so that you could reach your fate. And so when she leaves these messages in her creature's webs for you, it is because she wants you to know something, and it's very, very important. This is one of the divination tools that is very, very important to us because these are messages that are, you shouldn't ignore them, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm being scattered. Okay. Now, Spider Grandmother is also known as the weaver of dreams. She is not just the weaver of our fates, she also is the weaver of our dreams. And as such, Spider Grandmother has a lot of different totems, the dream catcher being one of them. So when you have a dream catcher hanging over your bed, you are hoping that Spider Grandmother takes away your nightmares. If you want to honor Spider Grandmother, which I'm sure that you do because I do not do a lot of deity work. I do a lot of ancestral work, but I don't do a lot of deity work. But I do deity work with Spider Grandmother because she is so, first of all, deeply entrenched in my ancestry, and also just deeply entrenched in the culture and what she stands for and who she is and what she's done for us. I respect and I admire. So Spider Grandmother is a deity with which I work regularly. So if you want to work with her and you kind of want her on your good side, you can present her offerings of rosemary or sage, both very cheap herbs that you can get just at the grocery store. And also peaches, fresh peaches, dried peaches, canned peaches, whatever you can do. In fact, there's a tea you can make if you want to. I like to do this if I'm really trying to work with Spider Grandmother on something important and I'm focusing all my energies on this deity work. I will leave her offerings of peach and rosemary and sage and fig. But I will also make a tea. I will brew some tea of dried peach, rosemary, sage, and I'll toss a little cinnamon in there. And the cinnamon is for my own particular. I'll get into it in a later video, but I just toss a little cinnamon in there. But I brew a tea specifically suited to Spider Grandmother, and I brew a cup for me and a cup for Spider Grandmother, and I leave the cup for Spider Grandmother on my altar for at least a week before I take it and I pour it out onto, I have a peach tree on my land, so I pour it onto the peach tree there because I feel like that's the best place to pour it. And so really good offerings for Spider Grandmother are those things, rosemary, sage, and peaches or dried peaches. Or you can make a tea and share it with Spider Grandmother, and that's also another way to really get in her good graces. Now, she is also the goddess of art, creation, because she thought us all into existence. She weaved us into existence. She's the greatest artist of us all. She brought us to life. She wove us and painted us, and here we are. So she is the goddess of art. And if you give her these offerings and ask her to help you in your own creative business, your own creative ideas, she will help you because she is an artist and she loves you and she wants you to follow your fate path and succeed. Now let's get into sometimes you may have dreams. If you particularly have dreams of spider webs, spiders, or eight-legged creatures, and you feel as though it's very spider connected, but you're not exactly scared in the dream, you may be having a dream given to you as a gift from Spider Grandmother. And this gift is not to be overlooked. So if you wake up from a dream like this and you have staunch memories from this dream, write them down, remember them, focus on them, meditate on them, because Spider Grandmother is trying to tell you something because you're veering from your fate's path, or you're about to make a decision that could affect your fate's path. And you need to take all of the messages from these type of dreams and really compile them and think about them, because Spider Grandmother wants you to succeed. I promise you. She is not some evil, wicked, scary... Okay, so I am fixing to do a video really, really soon, I hope, on... I'm so sorry, that was a Mack truck passing on the highway. I live on a farm, but the farm is on the highway, so it's like a mixture between country and city. So when Spider Grandmother sends you these dreams, it is because she wants you to succeed and follow your fate's path. And so, to kind of top it all off for Spider Grandmother, I'll just give you this little nugget of wisdom. Before each of us existed, we were emptiness. We were nothing. But still we had our thoughts. And before you were even an amoeba on a flea, on a kitten, on a kangaroo, hopping to visit a tourist, that was you. Before any of that, you were a thought. And the thought that you had before you were ever born, before Spider Grandmother weaved you into existence, that's the thought of your fate. And when you stray from that fate, you'll know it. And Spider Grandmother will let you know it. So that is deity number 1 in my Downhome Deities. And let's hop on into deity number 2. Okay, so I know that after hearing all this about Spider Grandmother, you may want to build an altar to her, and that's great, because I have my own special Spider Grandmother altar. 100% you should do it if you want to, because she is a wonderful deity to work with. I know not a lot of people, not everyone does deity work, and that's fantastic. I really didn't for a long time, but I do for Spider Grandmother. And if you want to do deity work, this is the deity to work for, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So when building an altar for Spider Grandmother, you're going to want to use, ow! Okay, so like on a real level, ow, fuck. Okay, you see that? You probably can't, whatever. It doesn't matter. My cedar bundles that I'm trying to sell you guys because I love you are sharp. Well, the bundles themselves aren't super sharp. They're good. It's the clippings all over my studio. Like this is a studio. It's my clippings all over the place. They get trapped in my finger and hurt. Okay, so back to building a Spider Grandmother altar. You're going to want a lot of natural items such as branches, dried herbs, dried fruits, and you're also going to want items of a specific color, like in greens, browns, and yellows. And all of those are very, very good for an altar for Spider Grandmother. You're also going to, if you're going to have little jars or holders there to put offerings in, you would prefer them to be clay. Glass is fine, but clay is preferred. Also, spiders and spider webs, imagery of that is great to have around your altar for Spider Grandmother. So like a great graphic art piece of a spider web or a spider that you find beautiful, that's really good for your Spider Grandmother altar. Also, feathers. Feathers are really good for Spider Grandmother because she wove the world into existence and it flew. And she loves feathers. I think this is specifically from a Navajo tradition where they talk about this, but it obviously was integrated into Appalachian and Ozark tradition because, you know, the Native Americans really had a strong bond with us as southern foothill peoples and mountain peoples, and we really meshed our cultures together. And so the Indians, the Hopi Indians especially, and the Navajo and the Cherokee would talk very much about feathers in native practice, and feathers are also very, very good for Spider Grandmother. Another thing that you can have on your altar, natural beeswax candles, which you can get. Actually, one of my favorite companies in the entire world, they have the most beautiful, incredible, well-sourced products, the Witch's Moon. If you have not gotten a subscription box from the Witch's Moon, the Witch's Bounty, the Witch's Roots, the Witch's... I forgot. The point is, the Witch's Moon is a really beautiful, incredible company, and they have very authentic, genuine tools. And I'm not just saying that because, like, I don't know, I got something cute from them in the mail once. No, like, I promise you, the Witch's Moon, their company and all of their subsequent boxes are very well cultivated. They're beautiful. They're so well cultivated, and they're so well put together. And they really, really, really do encompass everything that you want natural. And they come with all of their candles are natural beeswax candles, which first of all are good for any working, but especially for deity work with Spider Grandmother. Also, dream catchers, if you have any dream catchers, specifically dream catchers either that you have made yourself or come from a traditional Native American or come from someone who is very, very deep into this spirituality. Because if you just get, you know, there are some companies that just make dream catchers and you can buy them and they're expensive but they're cute. Don't do that. Get a dream catcher from an area or a person that you believe has a true authentic soul and get that, or make one for yourself. And so those are all things that can go on an altar for Spider Grandmother. Now, I feel like I'm digressing. I feel like I've talked way too much about Spider Grandmother, so we're gonna hop on into Father Winter, or I got an itch. or Old Man Winter, as he is also called. In fact, I feel like in the foothills here in the Ozarks, as well as in Appalachia, or actually, as a commenter pointed out to me, Appalachia. She had said to me, hey, I don't mean any offense at all of your video, but where I come from in Appalachia, if someone says Appalachia, you know that they're a tourist, rather than when they say Appalachia. And if I could speak on that for like one moment, I feel you, dog. I totally get it. Like, it's just that I have spent 10 years now cultivating this accent, this non-regional diction, because I had a lot of educational opportunities and work opportunities that would not have particularly accepted me had I spoken the way that I was taught to speak. So for the sake of my videos and for the sake of my fans and for the sake of my viewers, I do speak in this non-regional diction because I don't want to accidentally slip into my accent and slip out and just like, you know, kind of sound like a fake and a phony, because I don't want to do that, because I'm not. It's just that to employ your accent when it benefits you, I think is a little bit fake and phony to me. So I don't employ my accent when it benefits me. If I drink a lot, my accent will show up. And if I'm not in like a stress situation, like sitting in front of a camera and having to talk to you guys, my accent will be here, and I'll say things like the hills of Appalachia. But other than that, yes, I will say Appalachia, Appalachian, the foothills. I do have a lot of strong pronounced diction, and it's just because I have had a lot of education over the years. I spent a lot of my formative teen years not wanting to be associated with where I was from. I was really ashamed of it for some reason. I didn't want to be from the South. I didn't want to be from the mountains. I didn't want to be a hillbilly. I really wanted people to see me for my intellect and for my thoughts and creativity. And I didn't want them to see me for some hillbilly redneck. And I realize how offensive that is, and I'm so sorry, and I know. I get it, I promise. So I really worked hard to get rid of that accent over time, and it's hard to bring it all back. And I also don't want to be disingenuous with you guys either. I want you to know, listen, this is me. This is my accent now. This is what I've formulated over the years of struggling to get rid of my downhome accent, you know what I'm saying, yo? You know, I don't want to misrepresent my culture at all, because, I mean, while I do have an accent that I remember and I love from years ago, it's not an accent that I employ in my daily life, and I don't want to seem disingenuous if I use it. So, Father Winter, or Old Man Winter, as he's mostly called, he's the bringer of winter. He's the personification of winter. So, basically, he is basically the balance of Spider Grandmother. Oh, I've got the sniffles. And as he has no desire to protect humanity, Spider Grandmother does. But Father Winter, Old Man Winter, none of that. He's, I hate to use this poem, but cold. He's cold. He's a very cold creature. Spider Grandmother, constantly weaving the fates of humans and recalibrating and reweaving and making sure that we all make it to our own destinies. That ain't Father Winter, let me tell you. So, Father Winter is cold and objective. He brings the weather that causes the most damage and the most fear and the most pain. And so, he'll almost never step in or go out of his way to save any one particular human from his own massacre. You know, Father Winter is very cold. He brings on very cold, awful, horrifying weather. And if you truly have to be a good pure of heart, genuine, never done anything wrong in your life kind of person to receive the favor of Father Winter, which is why I don't recommend him for deity work. Is he's not, if you're not pure of heart, he don't give a about you, okay? So it's very rare that he'll go out of his way to stop the natural forces for you. And if you want to protect yourself and your home from harsh winters and from Father Winter or Old Man Winter, carry blackberries in your pocket, or have blackberries hung above your front door, or have blackberries near your front door, because blackberries are the first sign of winter is no longer here. And so Father Winter, when he sees the first blackberry, he must move on and take his winter elsewhere. So that's just a really interesting thing if you want to protect yourself from Father Winter, because he is so cold and cruel, and just honestly kind of heartless. I wouldn't say heartless, but heartless. Blackberries really help protect you from Father Winter, from the cold, from inclement weather. And so there's that. Get into the last down-home deity I'm going to talk about is Demeter. Taken from Greek tradition, the goddess Demeter. She is the second oldest goddess in the world. She's a fertility deity. She's often mistaken as Gaia. I know a lot of spiritualists, a lot of witches will talk about Gaia, but the Gaia that they're speaking of is actually Demeter. And so Demeter, she has the power to make you hungry for the rest of your life. And this is so true. She really does. If you disrespect nature, you disrespect this creation that we are lucky enough to live on, Demeter will make you hunger for the rest of your life. I know vegans that eat freaking 10 almonds a day and are chill. Well, they're not chill. They probably need some more in their diet. But the point is, I'm messing everything up. I'm going to be not politically correct here. I'm going to screw everything up and someone's going to attack me, and that's just how it's going to be, but that's okay. The thing is that I know people who eat a very low-waste plant-based diet and are full all day long. And then there are people who harm the planet, that hurt us, that just like blow out their carbon footprint to all get out, that feel like they're constantly hungry. Every time you hear them talk, they're like, I'm starving, I'm so hungry, man, give me a steak, bro. Yeah. That was awful. I'm so sorry. Anyways, the point is, Demeter has the ability to make you hungry for the rest of your life if you do not respect nature. She also, generally, she is kind and calm and helpful. She's a really helpful spirit. She's a goddess that wants to help you. She's no spider grandmother, but she wants to help. She wants to be a part of things. She wants to really, really, really help you out because she has a soft spot for humankind, especially humankind that cares about nature. Now, to get further into Demeter, there is also, I spoke in my last video, I said the name Chloe. Chloe is actually an epithet of Demeter. She, the goddess of fertility. Chloe means green. As far as the semantics go, it means green. And Chloe represents, blooming life and beautiful, like springtime, Ostara, which is what we're in right now. Chloe would be who you would like to pray to during this Ostara season. Demeter is who you'd like to pray to for tragedies involving nature, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So, anyways, that's about all I have for you for Downhome Deities. I'm sure there's a couple more that I'm just like missing or just didn't have enough to say about. So, this is it. This is my Downhome Deities episode. My next episode is going to be fan-freaking-tastic, I promise. Instead of Downhome Deities, I'm going to be doing Downhome Divination in my next episode. So stick around for that. Hit the bell notification, subscribe, like, do all the stuff if you want to, whatever. You don't have to, but I'd like it if you did. I got to pay my bills. Mama got to pay that light bill, you know what I'm saying? Just kidding, I don't get paid on YouTube. And I don't get paid for my job thanks to coronavirus. But So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for putting up with my rambling. Thank you for being interested in what I want to talk about. I really love you guys. This family of weirdos that has just been growing is blowing my freaking mind. So thank you all so much. I don't know what to say. Thank you. And I hope you really enjoyed this episode of Granny Magic, and I cannot wait to do so many more episodes about so many more things. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Granny Magic. Thank you for clicking on my channel. I hope you like, subscribe, click the bell notification, do all the stuff, click all the things. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much for over 200 subscribers. I'm stressed out. I love you guys. Thank you so very much. And I'll see you in the next video really soon.